Doing pretty good. How about you guys? Everybody's staying warm and looking good here. Which rink is warm? Which one's warmer? Which one's colder? Rink one or rink two? One is much warmer.
Well, I think
It's
because
chilly out there.
Is it?
I think because the freezers are too, you're like sitting down low if you get that.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, we might have to get some heaters in there for you guys.
You've heard guys talk a lot about installing systems and structure. Like, how did you feel about the way everybody picked up and learned things in day 2?
I thought it was a good continuation from day one. We worked on a little different areas today, just trying to, working to systematically, touch each and every one of our basic systems areas. So today we got a little bit more in on our breakouts. We got a little bit, built a little bit more on our D zone coverage. You saw some tracking and transition work out there. So, we got through some good work today and saw some good results.
It was a lot more physical today, a lot more one-on-one kind of battle drill.
Yeah.
Were you happy with the level of compete and
Yeah, same.
intensity you saw?
Same as yesterday, and we knew today. Today's practice plan was a more competitive plan in that way. But there was still the combination of systems and teaching within it. But in most of those cases, it was in real competitive settings, whether it be 1-on-1, 2-on-2, or 5-on-5 in some cases.
Are you going to name a captain?
It's something we've talked about and we haven't made a decision yet. And we'll just Ron and I will continue to talk about that as we go through training camp and make a final decision after.
Do you have a leadership group already? Or is that still developing?
You know what? I haven't had a leadership group together, but certainly in my mind I have there's some really good people and some proven leaders within our dressing room that will be part of that group.
How important are they to set the tone physically and also emotionally here to get this team running together?
Probably most importantly, emotionally, and just in terms of that camaraderie in the dressing room, and really feel that growing and building already, inside the room. We've got some great veterans in there, guys that are really comfortable in who they are, and have done a really good job inside of that dressing room. So right now, what I see through 2 hard days of work, I'm seeing a continuation of that camaraderie in the dressing room, and that has to continue to build. You have to work at that day after day to build the trust that you need as a team.
Certainly lines are fluid, but when you look at the Yarn Club, Wenger, Johansson lines, people
Yeah.
like the Swedish House Mafia, like,
But you.
Well, you don't need me. You've got them named.
that said, what is it about that line that you've seen so far through 2 days that you like? And then when you were coming up with lines, was it sort of their two-way personality for all 3 players that stood out, or what was it? And you said, let's put them together.
Well, the pieces fit in terms of the skill packages. They spend a lot of time together. Part of it is your chemistry off the ice. Chemistry carries on the ice. It doesn't always translate that way, but those 3 guys for sure. They seem to have some chemistry, away from the ice surface, away from the rink. And most importantly, what we've seen is some of that chemistry carry through. With the different skill packages that they have, they do fit together. And we're 2 days into camp. It's like I said yesterday. I want to try to give most of the combinations that we're starting with, give them an opportunity. Not just one day at a time. That's not enough to see the ups and downs. So trying to give each and every combination, including theirs, a few days together, and maybe 1 or 2 exhibition games to really see how it comes together.
And so when you were talking about, the off-ice chemistry, so what does that look like for you? Is it just like when you're sitting there in meeting rooms or you're around the facility, you see those guys talking, hanging out? Is it like, what is it that you look at and say, okay,
It's just it's normal life, right? I mean, people spending time together, and that doesn't what I like about that group is we're very early into this, but I see they're part of everything, part of the whole group. But hey, more often than not, you end up at the lunch table and you see 2 or 3 guys together. That probably tells you something, right? It shows itself in different forms all the time. And like I said, it doesn't always translate to natural chemistry on the ice, but So far, so good. Like you know, I've liked number one. I've liked their effort level, their attention to detail, and their chemistry together on the ice has been good.
Is there anything in particular that you think needs to get covered or implemented before preseason starts on Sunday?
No, we can only do. You can't walk, you know, run before you walk, so to speak. So we know we're going to be far from a finished product as we hit the ice for the first exhibition game, and really all the way through the exhibition season. There's going to be, we'll try to add, you know, blocks to that foundation every day as we go forward. Whether it's a practice day or a game day, we'll try to build a little bit. But we're not trying to get to the finish line here. We're just trying to build pieces in each and every day, and you can only do, you know, so much each day, and you can only accomplish so much each day. So far, you know, I like the you know, the attention level and the work level of the players. They've been outstanding.
How many of the, well, can you give us a general idea of how many of the regulars might be playing on Sunday versus, you know, maybe guys who are not expected to necessarily be?
Yeah, we don't have a final roster set, but we'll see, you know, we'll see a good number of veterans that will play on Sunday. But I still want to get through tomorrow. We have a good work day tomorrow. We have a scrimmage tomorrow, you know, which will be really good for us, and then we'll worry about trying to set the roster. We'll spend some time tomorrow after our work day and set the roster for the next day.
And not just special
Yesterday
teams.
you talked about a lot of this being a balancing act. I'm wondering for you tomorrow and then also on Sunday, what would you like to see as the balance between being able to master the systems that you walk through, but also allowing the guys to kind of feel out their own game within those systems?
Yeah, it's such an instinctual game. So first and foremost, we just, you know, we still want to see the competitiveness, you know, and you know, guys playing off of instinct. But we should also start to see some small pieces of our systems, you know, that become a foundation. We're not going to see it consistently yet tomorrow in scrimmage. We're not going to see it on Sunday, you know, overall, you know, on a consistent sense. But we should start to see it and see those pieces, you know, come to light in our game action. No question, that should start. These guys are pros. They're smart. They know how to implement it as soon as they understand.
I imagine special teams will come as we progress here.
Yeah.
In these early days, are you assessing guys looking like, oh, that guy looks like he has kind of the skills that we would need on the PK or the power?
Well,
Is that something that's ongoing?
We've done a lot of that over the summer based off of, you know, some prior performances, what guys have done in the past. Specialty teams focus is going to come into play a few days down the road, and I've had different training camps where, you know, it depends on the schedule and you know, what the schedule allows. We just really feel like right now we want to take steps 5-on-5, and we're going to start to really get into the specialty teams, you know, a few days from now. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're evaluating everything all the time in terms of the skill sets and how they might help our team, whether it's specialty teams wise or 5-on-5. So absolutely, we are looking at that.
You're good?
Great. Thanks everybody. See you tomorrow.